in the NFC North, we've got the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, we're going Vikings.
Vikings,
now.
yes, we're going to do the Vikings.
Interesting.
Yes. Okay, so Vikings, the big story with them, they don't have the same quarterback anymore. They have a rookie quarterback now on top of it. So no more Kirk Cousins and stuff. And that was kind of what derailed their season last season. Justin Jefferson finally, we saw it in the receiving show too. Never really got injured in his career, and then all of a sudden twice in a season really wanted to be there for his team. And you saw the difference when he wasn't there. And then when he did come back after the first time, Kirk Cousins goes down, and it was just a shambles after that and stuff, and couldn't really bounce back. So Kevin O'Connell now trying to kind of reset here. He's got his quarterback now too, and trying to groom him. And let's see moving forward, because again, when you got Sam Darnold there, they're talking about the quarterback controversy. I'm excited to see the preseason game, see what lies of that and who that potential starter could be. But the Minnesota Vikings, with having that down year, and you've got the Lions that are good, the Bears potentially could be better. The Green Bay Packers were amazing last year too. Tough to really get back into this division.
Yeah, I mean, the Vikings, they have a plan in place, obviously. Like, they drafted J.J. McCarthy, hoping that he could be their future quarterback, but maybe not necessarily this year, because everybody's saying how well Sam Darnold's playing right now. Whether it be an 11-on-11 drills, 7-on-7 drills, he's been able to distribute the rock to everybody that is in need and is doing such a good job. Kevin O'Connell's impressed with him at this point. Not only how he came in as a veteran, but also how he was able to learn the playbook really quickly and is now starting to become a real big part of this offense in distributing the football to his receivers. So I think that Kevin O'Connell and the Vikings actually feel a little bit more confident than most people, even Vikings fans, in Sam Darnold. So we kind of put it out there, and I made the claim of saying Sam Darnold's going to be the starter, everybody. And everyone's like, no way is he going to be the starter. They drafted JJ. He's going to be the starter. Well, JJ McCarthy is a backup right now. And Sam Darnold, they love what he's able to do. So Sam Darnold's starting right now, and let's just see how it plays out, because maybe this is the opportunity that Darnold needed with a very different offensive philosophy with Kevin O'Connell and a completely different environment. So, and it does help that you got Justin Jefferson to throw to, right? I mean, and Jordan Addison. That's if he can stay out of trouble, of course. But
I know,
but nonetheless, after those two guys, though, you look at this team in terms of their receiving power, and it's lackluster. Like, they didn't even really add any vets. They didn't, and they still can, but it's like Jalen Naylor is going to be penciled in the slot at this point in time, and I think he's an up and coming type of wide receiver. So I'm curious to see just how good he actually is. But you got Brandon Powell, who was with the Rams formerly, who could probably maybe carve out a nice niche in the rotation. After that, obviously it's a bunch of guys playing for spots. Yeah. But if Naylor can come out and prove that he is a legit up and coming player and a starter for them, then that's great. Brandon Powell, he's going to be part of this rotation. Maybe it's with Naylor, but your two guys are obviously Jefferson and Addison. But the thing is let's just say, for example, we saw last year, Jefferson went down with an injury, couldn't play in several games. Addison has also been known in college to come down with the injury bug here and there. If both of these guys happen to go down, you're looking at a very big issue here. So especially offensively.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's the key here too. That's the whole part of it. So this team, I'm not expecting a whole lot of things here, because again, you're kind of changing quarterbacks. You got the veteran there in Sam Darnold, and then JJ McCarthy. Would see what he can do, if he can be able to challenge for that starting spot or not. And like you said, the depth. If Jordan Addison still gets in more trouble or whatnot, you're left with Justin Jefferson again, which he's shown that he can kind of, if you just have him, you keep feeding him the ball, he's just a difference maker. I get that. But still, there's times when he's getting doubled up, and he's seen where he's gotten frustrated and banged up, because people, again, see what kind of a difference maker he can be. So they get really physical with him. And I think that's why he got injured a bit last year. That's going to be a focus that a lot of teams are going to focus on. Luckily for them, though, they did go and get Aaron Jones. So I think this running game is going to be pretty good, too. So I think they're going to have Aaron Jones do a lot of the workload, too, to balance it out a little bit. So maybe they don't have to go all air with Justin Jefferson.
And that's the other thing, too, about Edison is we haven't heard yet the NFL come down with a suspension.
That's right.
It could be 3-game suspension. So you're looking at the first 3 weeks of football not having one of your major weapons, and that could really hinder this offense too. Maybe it doesn't, maybe it does, but it's not a good look for the team, and it's definitely not going to be a good look for the offense starting the season.
All right, we got William Del Pilar. He says Sam Darnold is going to have his best career ever. There you go.
That won't be hard to do.
The mic. There you go.
Because he seems to get ripped out of the starting spot as soon as things go awry. But this guy's definitely got a great opportunity here. I think he is going to do well for them. But again, like it's going to depend on the availability of the receivers. It's going to depend on even on the offensive line here. You got there's a few guys on there that kind of got question marks. Like Brian O'Neill's been pretty darn good locking up the right tackle spot. Blake Brandel, I don't know much about him at left guard. Hopefully I think he's a veteran that's been there, but again, some of these guys, you just don't hear their names at all. And you kind of wonder, like Ed Ingram at right guard. Like, I don't know those offensive linemen too well right now. But Christian Darrisaw, he just got a big time extension. And obviously you got your bookend tackle set. You got your your center set at Garrett Bradbury. So there's there's pillars that fill out that offensive line where even if the left guard and right guard can't play up to par, that they're still going to be able to hold it down enough. And we talked about Sam Darnold. We're going to talk about the running backs here. Aaron Jones is now a Viking, everyone. I didn't think this was going to happen. I still think this is going to be odd to watch because Aaron Jones to me is just a Packer through and through. He should have retired a Packer, but here he is. Packers didn't want him. They decided to replace him instead. And Aaron Jones is going to be a Viking. He's going to look to try to get revenge against the Packers whenever they face each other. And Ty Chandler as your backup. So I've struggled with this because in Kevin O'Connell's offense, I think Jones can work well inside this offense, but it's going to be something similar to Green Bay, but at the same time, it is a little bit different. I just hope that they don't utilize him too much because he is up there in age. I think you're going to have to bounce it out between him and Ty Chandler in terms of reps and everything on the football field, but he's still a good player. There's no doubt about it. So they don't lose much in terms of getting productivity in that spot. So I think they'll be okay.
Yeah, now last year the defense was doing pretty good, but now this year they've got even a lot of different players on his team, because one, you did lose pass rusher Danielle Hunter finally. He's gone because after all the debate with his contract and all this other stuff, he's finally out, moved on to probably better things here and a better career. So that's going to be tough, not having him there. They do fill a couple of different spots here. They got Harrison Phillips and Andrew Van Ginkel from Miami Dolphins and things. Byron Murphy finds a spot here, and you've still got your traditional guys here in Harrison Smith, who just doesn't age. Apparently, he's just still there at the safety position. But this defense, a little different look to him right now this season.
Yeah, you got Brian Flores as the D coordinator, changing things up a little bit here, going to a 3-4 scheme. And that's where you see that linebacking position loaded up now. Jonathan Grenard coming over from Houston, Blake Cashman, who's been there, Ivan Pace Jr., who was a pleasant surprise for them, a undrafted free agent who managed to not only make the starting lineup, but has been holding on to it with very strong grip. Andrew Van Ginkel, like you mentioned, a phenomenal pass rusher. I just want him to get a little bit better playing the run. But so we'll see that all happen when they step on the football field. But I will say that there is a ton of changes in terms of personnel for this Vikings defense. and it has changed a little bit. So I'm curious to see how it all works together,
especially with their draft pick, Joe.
Their front three here, they are all good. They're the down three linemen. They're just going to eat up blocks, you know. So that's why you see such big, large men up front. So it's going to be curious to see. And you mentioned the rookie that they drafted, and Dallas Turner. Didn't think he would fit the prototypical defensive end position, in my opinion, anyways. That I thought with his athletic ability and his speed and sideline to sideline type of movement, we saw him do some coverage drills in Alabama before he got drafted. And I was like, dude, that's a linebacker all day. That's an outside linebacker that could wreak havoc at the NFL level. And sure enough, it looks like anyways that the Vikings drafted him to purposely put him there. So Andrew Van Ginkel, watch out. You might be a backup soon because Dallas Turner is clipping at your heels right now to get more playing time. I really do. I really like this kid as an outside linebacker, especially coming off the edge. He's going to make a big time impact. Again, he still has to learn the defense. We got to see if he can be able to kind of maybe steal some reps or steal that position away from Ginkel. But I do like the fact that they are going to use him as a linebacker, not so much a D end in this defense. I think that's huge. Secondary wise, Byron Murphy Jr. comes over from the Cardinals. Now we talked about how many different changes were made. It just keeps continuing throughout the whole defense. You got Byron Murphy, Harrison Smith. Vikings fans know him very well. He's been there forever. Cameron Bynum, he's also been there since 21. Shaq Griffin's a new addition to play corner on the right side. And then it looks like Joshua Metellus is going to lock down the nickel spot as of right now. But again, there, like you said early on, Jim, there are so many personnel changes. Sometimes it's very difficult to all gel together right away. So these guys got to play. They got to get as many reps as they possibly can. So then when week one comes around, they won't look like a disorganized machine. Right. So Brian Flores going to get his ducks lined up in a row. And hopefully when week one kicks off, they are going to be ready.
Hey everybody, this is Big John from Grumblings Media, and I just want to say thank you for watching our content. If you want to support our efforts here at Grumblings Media, just smash the subscribe button right here, totally free, or just go ahead and consume more of our great content. Click either one of these two boxes.